Welcome back to the channel. We got the 2017 Frontier that I want to hook up a trailer to. And what we've got is a 7-prong plug. Looks like a little green crusties on the left bottom there. And I believe that's the ground. But we need to test that. The other thing I want to do is I went ahead and printed these off if it's correct. A lot of them it'll say right here wire colors will vary. But there's your plug and there's your truck. These two look like they're the same. So we've got our 12-volt auxiliary, so that should be live at all times. And I also call it a charge wire because if it's 12 volts with the vehicle running, it may have 13.5 to 14.6 volts. That should charge a battery if you've got a trailer with, you know, a battery on it. All my trailers have a breakaway battery, and the dump trailer over here, that's got a you know, a battery in it that should have a charge wire to keep the battery charged while you're driving. Then we got the tail lights, upper left, the left turn, our ground, our brake, and our right turn signal. So I want to check them out. And the reason is I was thinking about putting a brake controller in, and I've got, let me show you. I've got a draw tight activator 2 with an adjustable knob, and I believe this goes 0 to 10, 1 to 10. And over here I've got a draw tight activator, the 1, where you press and you can control it. This is the old one. I forget which truck I had that in. I keep all these. And then this one went to the 150, the 06 I had. I owned that when I first bought the enclosed trailer, and I actually bought it from the trailer dealer, and they installed it in 15 minutes. This is how they did it. They had a plug, and then they just did this to the wires instead of solder or an actual connector. And I see there's an extra wire in that, but this worked good in the truck. Your plus, your gain. And what I wanted to do is put it in the Nissan. Well, the problem with that is, you know, they need to be mounted this direction. And when you get in and out, I didn't want to bang my knee on it. There's not a huge amount of room in here. If we put it over here on the right side, your keys are going to be flopping on it if you got an extension on your ring, or your knee's going to hit it. I could put it right here, but it's going to take up some storage space in my little junk holder. And so I was going to get a new one. Well, Kurt makes a Spectrum, and these run about, I think, $190, $200, something like that. Well, this was on Marketplace. It's new. It's, I thought it had the seal on it. Yeah, it's got the seal on it. The man said he bought one, he ended up with 2, so I don't know the story on that. So I bought that from him for like 1/3 the price, and I thought this might work. The only concern I have is the size of the knob. It's not large. It's a little smaller than these knobs. But the problem is, the only knockout I have is right here, and there is no extra knockouts here or here. And I'm not sure if I want to drill holes or not. So compare, you know, the knob to the knockout. It won't fit. It'll look terrible. So I could either put it here. This appears to be a knockout. I'm not sure if it is. I'm not sure. But I know my keys would hang and bang on it, and then you can't really see it. So probably would look best if I could mount it like right here or right here. And if your knee's going to be in, you know, you got to lean way up here to do it. But I would say it's better up here. And these type of controllers, you position the box under the dash, and this should have a plug under there that it just plugs into. Most of the modern ones, you don't have to cob into the wiring. There's already a plug. So that's what I think I'm going to do on that. And I think I'm going to open her up, check it out. It shouldn't be too long of an install, but I think the place to start on this would be to get a creeper, because it just rained, lay her down, check all my lights, make sure that the factory plug under there works good. I hauled a car trailer, went down, and I got a bunch of materials when we did the kitchen job, and it hauled this really nice. The trailer is pretty light, but it's a tandem axle with brakes, and I don't want to haul a trailer without brakes. All my trailers have brakes. And so the next thing you've got to worry about is your towing capacity. On this one, it's not rated that high. It's only 5815. My trailers are 7,000 pound. They're 3,500 pound axles. So the only thing I have to worry about on this is I can't put a huge amount of weight. In other words, like if I put the dump trailer behind it, that's about all it's going to want to handle. It's not going to want to handle, you know, the 4,400 pounds plus a load of something in it. The 150 is I think I was 7,200 or 8,000 pound. So I didn't have any trouble with that. I don't want to overwork this, you know. So I'm not even thinking of hauling that. It probably could haul the enclosed trailer because it's aluminum body, aluminum frame. It's a 5-inch aluminum frame on it. And it's fairly light. But it's wide and it's a wind mass. So I'm not sure that I want to haul that either. But that car trailer, I got to look up the weight on it. But I think it's around 1,500 pounds. The tractor, like it sits now, is, I shouldn't even quote this till I look it up again. I think with the backhoe attachment on it, it was 3,000, somewhere around 1.5 tons. I think it sits there about 1 ton. And 1 ton, 15.5. I'm not going to be overloaded, so I shouldn't get a ticket. But the thing I could do is put that on, put it on there, run it up, run it on the scales, and you know, make sure I'm within the guidelines. The trailers I have registered for the weight, but you can't go over your vehicle weight rating. So I want to confirm that if I run it up to the mill, they got a nice digital scale for the tractor trailers. I can get on there and get a ticket for it and, you know, get my weight. I'd like to haul this to a couple little jobs. I want to put the stump grinder on it and the brush cutter and the backhoe. So at different times, I want something different on it. So I think it's important to get this thing wired up with brakes so that I'm not abusing this. This one we have new front brakes, new back brakes, new calipers, new rotors, slotted rotors, ceramic pads. And so new wheel bearings up front, serviced, all that stuff. You know, we did the axle. So it should be good to tow. But like I said, you got to watch that weight rating. So I'm going to get a creeper. We'll get under there and check some wiring. So I got Dawson out here. He's going to do one thing at a time for me in there while we check it. And I think what we'll do is, this is quite spring loaded. Pretty hard here. So you got to kind of hold it up. And I believe, let's see here, the truck side, the ground should be the one that's got the little green crusties on it. So I'll put the ground on that. And what are you going to start with, Dee? Let me check one thing, see if it's live. And it's not. What are you doing? Put one on and the other. What are you doing? Do something. What do you got? The brake? Put the brakes on. You good? Alright, let me see if we got power. Boy, this thing's really got a heavy spring on it. But the reason I want to clip onto here is I want to make sure this ground is good. What do you got on now? The brakes. You got something else on. You got the left turn lights. Let's see. Let off the brake. Yeah, it probably will do that anyway because that's when you have your hazards. Put your 4-ways on. Okay, so the left turn is blinking and the right turn is straight across. And that works. And then four ways, turn them off.
Okay.
Now just turn the parking lights on. And that should be, where is it? The tail and marker's the upper right here. That's on?
Yeah.
Uh-oh. We don't have it here. That could be a bummer. And then in the center is a backup. They call it a backup wire. And a lot of trailers you don't have a backup on. So right now we don't have any lights, which is kind of a bummer. That's a big one. And then what else did you try? Let's see here. We've got no parking lights, which is the tail and tail marker they call it. And then turn the key on and try the signals. Shut the truck off. Who said to start the truck? Turn the key on. There's a difference. How am I going to hear you? And then put a left or a right on. What do you got?
Nothing.
Dawson, turn the key on.
It is.
It's not. I don't hear the fuel pump. That's a left. And the left turn is this one. And that's working. Now do the right.
Right's on.
Huh?
It's on its right turn signal.
I thought the left was on.
It was.
Try the right.
It's on.
Try the left.
Okay.
Okay, what do we got here? So the left is this side. Now try the right.
Okay.
Okay, they're correct. And then the upper right is on now. So is the marker lights on? Turn the signal off. Turn the key off.
Okay.
Turn the marker lights on. That's one notch, you know. Tail light.
It's on.
It's on. With their, turn them off. Turn them on.
Okay.
Okay, now turn the key on. All right, the key has to be on to do that. I didn't know that. Okay, so everything's working except the brake, and the brake would be, turn that off, and then the brake would be, can't see it. I need new glasses, right? The bottom right. So I know there's no integrated brake control. I didn't see it, but step on the brake. Nothing. Now turn the key on. Now step on the brake.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're going to put that brake controller in. Turn that off. And everything is wired correctly here. It looks good. And you just have to have the key on to do the lights. So now let's go up and do the controller. Hear the goose going over? Two of them. Lunch. Okay, what we got, I went on the old Amazon for $9 something, and I got me a plug. I had goodie points. I think I got it for $2. I don't know. This should go to the Nissan. I believe the tiny research I did, up under here is a trailer plug. And so what I want to do is plug this into that. We got to find it. We're going to open this, make sure everything's in there. He said it wasn't open, so, right, Dawson? Yeah, it doesn't look it. So what we got is our knob up front. We got our right here, and that's a plug and play, right? It looks it, sorta. Then we got our controller, which is quite small, which is good. And then they do give you mounting spots where you can mount this in any position. 9/6/23, so he's had it a little while. Then we've got a mounting base. Looks like sticky tape. And that's the back of this. I don't know how far out I want it to go. And then constructions, right? And you can make it brighter, dimmer. You can calibrate it. It tells you everything. So it should be a good one. A little research I did on it. So what concerns me now is that. So what do they give you for that? We've got 6 wires. So we'll be doing a little reading. The one I purchased to go to the vehicle. So we'll open this thing up. And then the dash, I believe there's 1 or 2 screws, and we can just pull this off in there. On this side, we've got a couple controls. We got our mirrors, our hill descent, cargo lamp, and I don't recall what that was. Do you, Dawson? I'm not sure I used it yet. Okay, so a couple zip ties, our plug, and then 4 wire. So we'll find out if it's a plug and play or not. So, all right, we'll read some directions and I'll get this taken off so I can see where my connector is. Looks like there's a screw here. And that's it. That's all it looks like. I think you just pop her out. Let's find out. So I took this Phillips screw out. So this whole side is loose. And it does look like this is a plug right here. Boy, if your keys didn't hang there, that'd be a good spot. You could do it right in the center of that. I might consider that still, but I think what I got to do is pop my WeatherTechs out. They got a couple hooks. We'll see how filthy the carpet is. Winter. And we got to get the vacuum out. And then this kick panel we got to pull off. And no, I don't see any screws in that either. So like this probably just pops. So I'm going to get a couple little plastic tools. And this whole thing goes down this track. So it's a perfect time to vacuum this because I can get right along this edge. So I'll go get a couple pry tools and get these popped. So this panel pops right up and it just pops right out. So that's part of it. That helps. And then I guess that can come off. And then, look at the dirt down here. I got to suck that up. And then we got to get behind here yet. So I got to see what holds this on. I'll get a light. I see a bunch of wires in there. But our trailer plug should be somewhere about here. The DLC's right here. And I'll find out what holds this on too. So I'll be back. Here's a little spin nut. We'll put that up there. And then this comes out. And then this has a clip here and this pops out. So I'll get this off. Right there's the plug up here on the right hand side of the steering column. So I didn't have to take the kick panel off by the looks, but that's probably where I want to put the control box. And then I'm going to pull and hook my connector here. So this is plugged in and we've got our 4 wire. Here we've got our 4 wire. This gives you a plug. I guess I have to cut the plug because I don't have the proper clips. I doubt. I'll look. So we'll probably clip that to a solder seal or some kind of crimp connector. Definitely not a Scotch lock. Then this can get all tucked up, zip tied, and put up in. On this plug, this is open. I don't know why they do this and don't just pre-wire it for you. But what you do with this one is this plugs into there. So you got to take your wires and go to the corresponding, I gotta get on the right side here, corresponding holes, which we'll look up in a direction, and put our colors in there with a clip, and they're going to snap in, and then we lock this. So it comes with this one installed, and this has got a circle for this, so you can glue it on if you want to see the wire. And the wire can go up here and go out of sight, but because it's a tilt wheel, it's sort of rubbed. I had it in there and it's sort of rubbed. I was like, I don't know if I want to see the wire. So now, if we take this plate off and we put the other plate on, then the screw that comes with it, where did I set it? Hold on. Here's your screw set up, and it's got a grommet that goes through there. And you drill a hole, and you drill a second hole, and this will sit and lock in wherever you want it to. And then you tighten that screw up, and it holds a plate to it, and the cord goes down through the center. So I think we've decided we want it here, but I don't want to see the wires. They want the LEDs facing up, and so we can bring it out the back using that. So there's not a lot of room in there, and I don't dare drill in yet. So we can take and pull this out, pop this out, this cover. I think it should just pop in there. And then like that. And that might pull down, right? I don't know if I have to go any farther. Right there's a screw. That's the one I was looking for. Hold on. So I'm going to pull this Phillips screw out. I don't know if there's more than one. There's one. And that comes up. It's probably just a bunch of snap clips now. But I'd like to get this out so I know what I'm drilling into. So this pulls out, and we've got a snap clip here. We got a metal dash frame part and a Phillips screw for the upper. So we just have to, I'm glad we took this out so I don't drill into that. I think if we moved and turned this slightly, we can put it down here, and there's nothing in the way, and we can feed our wire through and down, and right there's our control box. So there's a clip here and a metal bracket there. There's nothing on this side. So if I go ahead and I put my screw kit in, this will go through here, and it's a grommet that squeezes and holds it tight right there. And then our wire will go through the center, we'll miss everything, and it'll look good. So I took that screw off, popped this clip, pulled that off, pulled the screw out. This comes down. What this is going to mount, we want it here, but we're limited. So if we were below this clip, I kind of want probably a 1/2 inch down, and that'll be about like this. I'd like it as far left as I could get it. But we have to turn this holder so to the right it would hit, while it might hit. And then down it might work. Over there it probably will work. It will have to probably go to the left, right?
Yes.
And I just didn't want to bump into this, but we're going to be a little higher than that. So I would say put this at 9 o'clock. This nub straight up, and your LEDs will be straight across. Your wire harness will go right through this thing. That's what we're going to go for, and we're going to drill 2 5/16 holes. And then we got our 2 holes drilled. They clear. And then we put our grommet in, and we put our screw in, and it sucks it tight. And now, for giggles, let's see how it fits. That should fit just fine up there. And then our switch is going to go in, and this clicks in place, and we're going to put our LEDs up. Our wire is going to go through the center, so we got to feed our wire now. I'll push that down through there. Now we just feed our wires in, a whole bunch of them. And then we're going to just pull our cable through, go right down through here. We'll snap it back on, and we can do our wiring out here. We fed this through, and there's our little dimple, our LEDs here, and even there. Gonna bring that up and snap her in there. Should click. I don't know if they all clicked or not. Did it? Sounded it, I guess. And that's it. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to feed my wire, make sure it clears as I put it up. I'm going to snap this in, and then put this screw in and that screw in. Snap this trim on. I'm going to put my kick plate on. And you know what I might do prior is we take our box, figure out where we want to mount it. We can mount it somewhere down in here if we wanted to. I could put it, probably the best spot would be right here. See, that has to be protected out of the way. And then we just have to feed our wires in and put our connectors on. I stripped them a little longer. And what we're going to use is these little solder seals there instead of a butt connector. And I just want to get them a little longer. They were like not much. get them like that, 3/8 or so. And then I want to, that isn't enough for me, like that. And then we're going to use these. So we'll get the little torch out. All right, we slid our shrink sleeve on, probably not necessary. Then we did our heat shrinks on here. We slid our 2 wires together, twisted them together, put them in, melted it, and then we're going to take our sleeve, slide that up on there, and melt that on all these connections. So now we got all our crimp seals, and we've got our sleeves on. We don't need them, but I put both on. Now we're going to get our brake controller in, and I think it says we can use the zip ties. It came with 2. We're going to clamp it in a stationary position. What's your color
Number
code?
3, green.
So we're going to put the green in number 3 slot. We're not using 1 and 8. And this little tiny crimp, you can see it, goes down. But it'll only go in one way. If I can see it, that's tiny. Crimp is down. Press them until they click, and all the wire will disappear. All the metal will disappear inside of it. So now that they're all in, make sure that they go all the way to the end when they snap in, and then squeeze this together, and it should all lock. And I heard it snap there. Did it snap here? Snap there. So that should work. I don't know why they don't build that for you. That's pretty tiny. So now we take this, and it should only go in our connector one way. Just like that. And it snapped. So now Dawson's going to put a couple zip ties in this right through that metal bar, and this is going to stay stationary under there. So we got it hooked up here, and now we're going to coil up our wires and get them up out of the way. We could lay under there and do it later, but Dawson thinks it's easier now. I'm only concerned that this wire is still 6 inches, 8 inches from where it's going to go, so I don't know how we can do it now, but we're going to get these tidied up with zip ties. So we got that tidied up. Everything's up away from the brake pedal. Let's confirm that everything's going to fit now. And bring this up. Make sure our wire's not going to rub on anything. And let me see what we got up here. Maybe I could either leave it down or I could bring it up. I probably should bring it up right up into here where we originally wanted it. I like that. There's no stress on it. Line our clips up. Our clips. Snap. Hey, check it out. It lit up, guys. It did something wrong, right? So then that's in. Now we're going to put our 2 Philippers in there. And then that'll tighten our dash up. 1 screw under this trim. And then 1 screw over here. Does it line up? Look at that. Don't you hate it when it works? This took longer than we thought because the directions kind of suck, don't they? I think so. I ran the vacuum a little bit right here under this cover. Now we're going to take this trim panel, which is also our door kick panel, and this goes, let's see here. No, this goes in next. We got to snap this cover in. Correct? I think so. Yep. And then, yep. And then this, like that. Now we put our, no, we don't do that yet either. We put this up in there, like over that, right? No, we go back down here, and we put our little thumb screw that we didn't even need to take off, right? I don't know the reason for that. We screw that back on there. Just covers up a screw. I don't know what it does. Maybe it holds a carpet? Probably, because there's one over there similar. And then we take our kick panel, and this says 62017 on it. This snaps into there. This goes into these. And then this goes straight down, and right here, see this? There's 2 yellow, can you see it?
Yep.
There's 2 yellow snaps. These go straight down in the back. and then straight in there. I'll get this lined up. It's nice not to snap them. I guess it goes over. So the rubber goes in next. Your door seal. Get that all in there happy. And this goes over that, right? And then bring that down to line up. That snaps. That goes in. Bring this over. Snap. Snap. Whippersnapper. Now, we're going to take, while we're at it, actually, if we're going to go up and check this, I'm not going to put our WeatherTech mat in yet. So, let's see what our wires look like. Are they pretty? Well, I don't even see them. They must be pretty. There's nothing hanging here. You don't want them hanging here so it's a mess. Drip down and you hit them when you hit the brake. So it's a pretty clean install. Pretty happy with that. Let's test it out. What this thing is, if you guys know, let me know. This should have been a hard plastic because we could have mounted it right there, but like I said, your keychain would have hung on top of it. I don't know. So we're all set on this side. So you come over here, Dawson. There's two clips on that right there and there. So tilt it under the pedals and fold it by your hand a little bit. Put that floor mat in there. Both of them click on. Yep. All right. Now you want to sit right in there. He's got his school shorts on, don't you? So, step on the brake, see if that lights up. It does not. Press the button. Ooh. And turn it. Woohoo! So now what we got to do is, I think on the directions it said do a sequence, right?
Yeah.
So what I would recommend is step on the brake and then turn it. It's supposed to go red, blue, green,
There's
or something.
4 different modes. We'll have
So we
to
got
read up on that.
Yeah, we have to set the modes. And then obviously the lighter, like 1 or 2 is light, medium, then hard brake, and then depends on what you're hauling. So we're going to test that out. But the first thing I want to do is starting to rain here a little bit, getting a little wet, is we're going to go back and see if we got brake continuity back there. So Dawson will press the brake pedal, and I'll check that connector to see if we have power now. All right, so we're trying to learn it here, and the instructions are poor. So you press and hold it in, and it's 1 green, 2, 3 green, starting to turn yellow. There's a yellow, yellow,
And then
red, red, and red. So orange, red, and bright red. And so that should be full brake right there. So now I'm going to go back and test the power. You come over here and press the brake. See, this is a lot like the other truck, the 150. You can see our trailer coupler there. I know he's flagging me and I can see it. I was just showing you. Crank it! Should go right on there. And what we're going to do is we're going to test it out because we got to check the function on it, because you hold it in, see we got the first and last. I'm not sure what these mean yet. So when we get this pulled out of here, we're going to plug it in the connector and see if all our lights work. So Dawson's going to hook the plug up. Look at the plug first. See the plug? Look at the plug. It only goes in one way. Did it click? And then did that click and lock on? Otherwise the brake ain't gonna work. Did it click over the edge?
Doesn't
All right.
have that like the other truck.
The lights aren't on, Dawson. Let's see why. Alright. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna plug it in, because we test it here, and see what we got.
Yep.
We got lights now.
That's all it was.
So just a blown fuse. So now we have marking lights.
Go show them.
Yeah, let's see what we got going on.
Four ways.
We got a left.
Yep.
We got a right.
Yep.
We got parking lights.
Yep.
We got brake lights.
Yep.
I got one red light lit in here. So now we're gonna go and snap our fuse box back together, and we're gonna leave a couple extra fuses in the box. There's a spot for a couple extra fuses, and then we're gonna drive ahead. I got a lifesaver in. I'm gonna drive ahead and we'll test our brakes out. All right, we got an issue. Always test your test light. We checked. We have. What do we have, Dawson? We have
Turning
four-ways,
signals,
turning
four
signals.
ways, brake. Yeah, we have
Yeah,
brake.
we have brake lights.
Just don't
And
have.
we just don't have
the
marking
marker
lights.
lights.
You know, no parking lights. So if you look in here, it tells you one thing. If you slide this up, we've got two different things here. We've got
F4 and F16.
F16 is trailer tow reverse lamp, 10 amp, which we don't have. So I'm not too worried about it. And then what's the other one? F4
Trailer tow.
is trailer tow 10 amp. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So can you see which one is which, Dawson? I'm coming in, checking F4 for power. We have power on this side. We have no power on that side. So go turn the lamps on. So Dawson turned them on and it makes no difference. So we got a blown fuse. So we're going to pop that fuse out and we're going to put another 10 amp fuse in. Never put one larger. But let's check. You always want to make sure that the fuse itself, the legs aren't burnt off from it. That looks like it got warm, don't it, Dawson?
Yeah.
Let's see if it's actually blown. Can you physically see it? Sure looks.
It does look hot.
Hot doesn't mean it usually melts. I don't know if you can see through it. I'll put on something bright. So that's a little mini fuse. Which one? It's not this one. Let's see if I got them in this kit. I don't know. We got a second thing we blown fuses on this. So that's a 10 large, just a 10 small. And see, you can see the leg on this one. Let's slip this in, and then, whoa, almost dropped it. If it blows right away, we got an issue, right? So now, let's check it with our test light. We had power at the bottom before. See, we have power on the top. See, we got power on both sides now. So it was, let me get in there. It's hard to see this. Yep. And yeah. Hey, let's go back and see if we got trailer lights. This other trailer tow, we're going to check it. And that's good. Okay. And what that does, that's a reverse lights. This must be the power wire running back there. So we're going to slide the box back together. And somewhere in here, there's a spot for extra fuses. I think down in here. And I'm going to leave a couple extra so we know we have them. All right, now that we got our lights working, we can see it. I don't know if you can with that water in the mirror, but I see the light lit on the trailer. That's what I like. I always have it so you can see the marker. And then the light's not lit on this. Step in the brake, I get one light. So now, I believe, there you go. You press it in, all of them lit up. See that, Dawson?
Yeah.
Woohoo! So, I believe it's set to max. What I want to do is roll down the drive, step on the brakes and see if we can get the tires to skid.
We're just trying to test it. Can you hear it? It's going. Yep. How's it feel?
We're on this other side. Now if we step on the brake, I get 1. When I get it to move, it goes up and up. So watch this. And roll ahead. Watch feet. See that? The harder I press, the more it goes up.
Oh.
That's cool. The difference with this one, I think, is they say press in and hold it, but I don't think you do it after it's already done. The difference with my other one is you just click it on and you can lock them right up.
And then
this
you can
one,
set it to a certain setting. Yeah.
yeah, this one is digital and it does it automatic. But I guess if we were on the dirt, I could do it really easy. But because this is pavement, I probably got to go 35 like them directions say. So we got a bunch of junk on the trailer. We're not going to test that now. But let me see that go up. I think it's going to work great. Don't you? See, there's a little bit of delay, which is good. If it comes on quick, you're going to skid, you know?
Yeah.
So I think we're good, guys. I think I'm probably going to leave this video at that. And what this is a, let me show you again. This is a Kurt. It's a Spectrum brake controller, part number 51170. This runs about $189 on Amazon. Push button rotary knob control. We got it mounted up here where it looks halfway decent, doesn't it, Dawson?
Yep.
Because see the silver and black, and over here we got the silver and black, and we got the rotary knobs up here. I think it actually looks good. I can't hit it with my knee, and if you went forward, you'd hit me down here, you know. I think it's a perfect spot. And you see the keys now? If we had put it over here, the keys would be banging on it all the time. And I think the install was a little bit tougher than I thought it was, but I think, you know, it's going to work good. And what I like is if I go to tow something, I can have brakes on it. So that's pretty important. And I'm pretty happy. So we'll test it out in the next couple days. I got to go to Lowe's, get some materials, and I got to haul a tractor tomorrow. So we'll see if it happens.